speaking of returns to Edinburgh, Craig Levein desperately wanting some attention as he arrived at Tynecastle, which didn't arrive, which is fucking hilarious.
Saying it all week, eh? Oh, what, did he cup his ears or something like that? Did he do anything like that? No.
No,
he
was
people
just
wanted.
all the week he was like, "Oh, I fully expect to get a bit of treatment." Like, nobody cares, mate. Like, you were Hearts manager. Broadly, everyone's made their peace with it. I doubt anybody's particularly upset about it.
You were a Hearts legend. Why would he get booed? People wanted you gone because you were doing a job you weren't cut out for.
Yeah,
as a director of football, but
desperation from Levein for people at Hearts to be upset at him. None of which materialised. Brilliant. Really, really enjoyed it. I am really enjoying Craig Levein being back in Scottish football and like an actual football in Central Ireland, not on the radio because I also don't need that in my life. But yeah, Craig Levein back in football, just attempting to wind
was
people
the
up.
Sacked in the Morning podcast his, or was he just a guest on it all the time?
I don't know.
I'm not sure because I saw that it's still on. Is he still going to be on it? I don't know.
I wondered whether he had actually told them that he wouldn't be coming back, or whether he just had completely forgotten that he did a podcast. He just assumed it was just some. He didn't actually know they were being recorded. He thought he was just hanging out with his pals in the pub for a wee bit. Don't know. Ultimately, this takes us into a run of 3 games, Tony, in which are not massively interesting. Truth be told. St Johnstone look like a competent football team, is what I'll say about this more than anything else. Like, I am pleased that Craig Levein has done the very sensible thing and come in and said to Liam Gordon, for example, like, you're actually quite good, mate. Would you like a cuddle? And then we'll just improve the things and we'll just keep you to do the things that you're good at.
And I'll give you a partner, like...
Just don't overthink it, mate. Don't try too hard. You're not playing football. Just win the ball, pass the ball, win the ball, get rid of it. Either way is fine. Just
and he gives
simple.
him McGowan as well.
Yeah.
Because he was playing on the right centre back, and he's still athletic enough for a wee bit of foot race. Not totally. I think he gets exposed when he's in midfield. Yeah. A bit of athleticism, but when you play in defence, it can be a bit different because you've got the bylines to use as like, you know what I mean. It's not
teammates,
like, and it's like you can't, so you can use that to squeeze things. And you don't need to be in mid. If you're in centre midfield, like there's no hiding place athletically. If it goes past you, they're gone. Then he made Liam Gordon look like a much better player than he has done recently. It's Hearts continued with the 3-5-2 with Kingsley having to play on the right hand side, but I was watching the highlights and what I've been reading is like, obviously it suits Alex Cochrane.
Him being back such a big boon for Hearts as well. It was the wee sort of skip past he went past, I think it was Costello, like he wasn't there, which again, not possibly the most difficult thing to do in the league this season, but just disappearing past Costello and his wee 1-2 and he was off and gone, and him being back from his, what was a duff ankle, has been a huge boon for Hearts as well, and much the same to like Beck and McCowan at Dundee that we were talking about as well. It just gives Lowry as well just that wee bit more freedom and a wee bit more space and a wee bit less responsibility to do the hard yards and more responsibility to just get on the ball and do things.
Yeah, because Cochrane's reliable in a defensive sense, but he's also, well, I would never have guessed in the first season I saw him. I thought he was like fucking blandest fullback. I thought like the fucking James Browns of this world.
Yeah.
like just like, aye, he's fine. And he's not criticising. He'll defend. He'll get forward a little bit. He'll play a deep cross. Can't get round. He can't do anything to get on the outside, but he'll support the wide player, and that's basically what he was. But then for there, he's come on loads. But the problem with Hearts, the problem with Hearts in a football sense.
The problem.
You got another 2 hours.
We're now cut to Tony live from the pub in
Dundee. They just play with everyone's a number 10 now. They don't really have any sort of real pace. So I find like they've become relatively easy to kill, which also means they can still get wins because teams sit in against them because the game can be really squeezed. But it means the games are fucking dreadful. That they play in, no matter really who anyone that's not a team that's like forced to go on the attack against them. So it's really only But Hibs, Rangers and Celtic, obviously Hibs fans wouldn't like Hibs just sitting in again, so that would be a problem. Obviously Rangers and Celtic can't do that. But like they've got with Lowry, Grant, and Grant I know has been a bit better, but Lowry, Grant, Boyce and Shankland is all wanting to have the same area, all very similar styles of players, and everyone just comes deeper for the ball. And if they're not got Vargas or Oda, who there's still question marks in about how effective these guys actually are, but you feel like some of them have to play because
just to offer something different.
it needs to be stretched. They miss Ginnelly so much, and in this game it was just, for what I looked at and for what I was reading, it was just Benny Beningame passing back to Frankie Kent.
I thought it was interesting that it was Joel had popped out the stats for his what's this thing called, the Hearts Bastards
Standard or something.
Hearts Bastards.
Hearts Bastards.
Was it most passes Frankie Kent with 100, most touches Frankie Kent with 112, and then second on the list was Kai Rolls. Like,
yeah,
you just do something else. Do something else.
Extremely unhearts as well.
Nobody's having fun, Tony.
Yeah,
nobody's having fun,
and it's extremely unhearts, and it's not what Hearts fans will want. And I don't mean that, and I don't mean that critically at all. It's just it's what the Hearts fans, that they kind of know what they want, and Hearts fans, that's why they always feel quite comfortable within themselves. I think they've always understood who they want. And Alan Forrest had one of his bad games, so maybe we can stop this stuff soon. But Hearts really, they looked like Hearts still were able to see the game out pretty easily. It looked like St Johnstone had their best period after half time, but it was more conducive into that, and it actually towards the end looked like that Hearts would be the team that would go on and score again. They were pretty solid though, St Johnstone, and they transitioned quite quickly for times, and that Robinson at left wing back was really good, and then Phillips and Smith stood out in the midfield, and Phillips is always a player that I just really like. I've always liked him since the day he came in.
He absolutely screams the sort of player to me who eventually one of Hearts, Aberdeen and Hibs will take a punt on him and he'll be absolutely stinking the entire time he's there. Like in the same sort of like the Jan when Hibs went to Hibs, going to sign Jan Danda, I was like, please let Jan Danda go to Hibs because he'll take a lot of money and he'll be terrible.
Yeah, it's like when Hearts signed Towell.
Not gonna work.
Not gonna happen. Just not gonna work. But then the same is what it's always going to be with St Johnstone, is that Kane and May is just workhorses up front, and there needs to be some sort of quality. This is what, when Nicky Clark's not there, because Nicky Clark, he might not be like the most deadly striker, but he's always been he's clever, he's cute, he's got quality, he can pick people out, he'll bring better out of one of those two. But when it's just those two, I just don't think it is. But they'll be under Levine, it'll be hard to beat. They'll just have to take their chances. And Mitov still looks great. So, fair enough to them, but that's it really I've got. That's not for me.